You know, it's been quite a long time since we've messed with Colonize Pls, and even longer since we just did Europa Universalis. So let's go ahead and do that. Much better. And before any Redditors push up their glasses and say, well, actually, this is not technically Europe. According to EU4, it is. I promise you can go look in this code and it will tell you. Everything from here up to here is Europe. Everything from here is Asia, but this is all Europe, according to EU4. It has nothing to do with what I've decided. It's just what the game says. Either way, if you do not know how Colonize Pls works, every nation in the game that can colonize will get a triggered modifier that gives them quite a bit of money, as well as some free colonists, lots of colonist speed, but cuts their colonial range, so that way the AI will be a little more, smart, and they will colonize near themselves and kind of try to blob out. Initially, we're probably going to see a giant push east. We're just going to see these guys just racing eastward, as well as a scramble for Africa. New World may take some time, probably after some nations get exploration and expansion, which they will do if they have, access to lands over here. So it should be a lot of fun. The first iteration of this video did super well, and it's been a long time, and a lot of things have changed in this game since then. And I definitely want to see kind of how things have changed in this regard. And you guys know how we check that out. We turn it on up to speed 5 and we unpause. And you can see it. They are pushing and they colonize so quickly that everything will fill in very quickly. I reckon it's only going to be a couple of years before, everything is filled in. Well, not a couple, but like a couple of decades. And whoever can get the most in Asia generally will do quite well. But there's quite a bit of development over here in Africa. And you also need to consider that people are going to be fighting. Like over here, we still have the 100 Years' War. Beautiful color for Ramazan, looking like they're going to be dominating the most of majority over here. We already have Shirvan forming Persia, which is very funny, and then Georgia snaking the border. I love that. Uzbek and Nogai tend to be the bigger guys up here, and we're going to see how things look with that in time. They are going to be cutting off everybody from Siberia, so they get all of that trade from the fur trade, which definitely could be quite lucrative for them. Does look like Venice decided to snipe some land over here in Suez from the Ottos, and the Ottos are looking to snipe Byzantium. Aragon pushing down through Africa, as is Portugal. We have an islet over here, or Aeolate. I don't know how it's pronounced. I always get corrected. And Georgia was finally cut off by Persia. Sad. Definitely nice to see a big Granada, but judging by the fact that they have hostile nations on all sides, I don't think it's going to look good for them. Meanwhile, France is just over here attacking Provence, like you do. It looks like we've got a Swedish independence war going on up here, with Poland beating up on the Teutons and the Livonians. Looks like Novgorod getting in on it as well. Meanwhile, Denmark is, sieging down the rest. Ramazan has been cut off down in the Horn by the Aeolate Yadal, or however, of the Ottomans, and the Ottomans are having some rebels, but they continue to annex other small nations around them. And speaking of small nations getting annexed, Granada looks to be next on the chopping block. Uzbek absolutely blasting over through here, going around Tibet with Nogai fishing down into India. Very smart on their part, in my opinion, cutting off the Great Horde, and now it is a race between Nogai and Persia to fill in India, though it definitely looks like Persia is going to have the upper hand in the initial conquests. Though I do love to see Ramazan. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how much I love this color. This is such a beautiful map color. Almost as good as Aragon's name placement down here in Central Africa. Very much like that as well. And it does look like Persia and Georgia are going at it, and it looks like Persia is winning. Meanwhile, colonizing the majority of the Deccan and over here in Gujarat and Hindustan, I guess this area is called, I don't know, I always get the names mixed up. Nogai getting most of the stuff over here in Bengal and over in the eastern portions of India. And meanwhile, Uzbek has pushed all the way over in the border on Beijing, like the Bay of Beijing. Is that what this is called? I actually don't know. Baohai Sea. So we're going to see quite a bit of trade being steered over. The rest of the world will become much richer because of the trade being steered over that way. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And meanwhile, this Aeolate down here is just blobbing. I guess they're doing okay. Meanwhile, we have Duke Joseph here of Burgundy. They integrated their PUs and they're independent. So I'm not really sure what happened with that. It does look like the Burgundian inheritance. They declared independence or demanded independence, and then they didn't give it up. So I don't really know what that's about. And meanwhile, Poland snaked up Coronia. Very funny. Oh, hey, we've got a big war going on between the Great Horde, Nogai, and Uzbek. Looks like they're kind of taking them from two fronts, but Nogai's got a lot of development. We are 25 years in, and Persia is the #1 great power with almost 1,500 development. Nogai, once they embrace institution, will be #2 with 12, followed by the Ottomans with almost 12 once they embrace institution as well. So definitely seeing some good stuff here, a good spread in my opinion. A couple of colonizers up in the top. Portugal obviously getting lots of land down in Africa, and I imagine they're probably going to be pushing into the New World before too long. So yeah, 25 years in, we've got boys in Asia, almost all the way into China and Southeast Asia. So we're definitely seeing some strong development. And like I said, Persia, that development over in India, that is a lot of land. Oh, and by the way, I gave every country in the world governing capacity just because it's a stupid mechanic in my opinion. So let them be big if they want to be big. Hey, yo, England, you feeling okay, man? You are mostly full occupied by these guys, Kildare or Caldare, but they're full occupied over here by them. So that's really funny. I bet they're going to annex them because they have them full occupied as well. But still, always love to see the big guys get bonked by the small guys. Africa is officially filled in, barring a couple of small provinces and some islands. China is well on its way. They're into Korea as well. India is finished, and Southeast Asia is underway with Burma just getting a few provinces over here by no guy. Portugal gets domination of the New World, which is very much going to help them. So we'll see how things go with that. They are the only one in the New World. And they've got basically all of South America down. It's like 30 years in. But it is just so funny seeing this aeolate of the Ottomans being like way bigger than the Ottomans. Also really cool to see Dulkadir go in and annex Karaman, apparently, and just be big. I love that. Ramazan has been exiled to Arabia. They are no longer in their homelands. Georgia being eaten by the Persians and the Dulkadir, I think. So there you go. And like, you just need to remember that there's still stuff going on over here. Like there's still regular wars going on. Switzerland just ate Milan, you know, like you do. Thuringia still looks remarkably like a penis. And I can go on, but I'll spare you. Though these big clash of the titans over here between the hordes is something that I'm very much here for. I think that whoever controls China will realistically control the end of the game. Persia is very strong, but they're also surrounded on a bunch of directions by bigger guys. Whoever can control like most of the north, like there's a lot of land and a lot of development over here. Oh, okay. And it looks like the Ottomans have taken exploration ideas and they have unlocked enough. They are able to actually reach this land. So there you go. Though it may be too late, Portugal's already over here in Florida in the eastern United States. And anybody over here who may be taking exploration ideas may not take them in time in order to get to the New World. But the Ottomans getting down here is a big deal because there is so much trade in the Malaccas and the Malacca. I always get them mixed up. But either way, there's a lot of trade to be steered over into Zimbabwe, and that can all be steered up here. So gonna be good for them. Not really sure why France is getting eaten up by Landshut right now, but there's a bit of a succession war going on over here, and for some reason France got involved. Meanwhile, England getting bonked by the Scots and the Sligo people over here, the Irish. So I genuinely love seeing like lots of stripes over the big nations. It always makes me smile. Meanwhile, Uzbek has finished up over in China. They are gone into Korea, and they've got Sakhalin. No Japan just yet, but they're pushing through Siberia. And I imagine once they finish up here, they may jump over into North America, or they're going to continue down into Southeast Asia and over into Japan. Lots of development over in Japan, of course. Yeah, Great Horde definitely not feeling so good. Circassia getting caught in the crossfire as well. Ottomans just dumpstering these guys over here. Georgia on their last legs, exiled down here to like farce. We do have the Sulu who have popped out over here. They're an event spawned native nation over here in the Philippines and like this region, I think. I don't know exactly what province. And we got Turks in Japan, my man. All right. And it looks like the Venetians are the next on the chopping block for the Otto. Dulkadir was gobbled up by the Ottomans. They decided to like turn their, their nation on and start doing some war. Ramazan's still hanging in there. Looks like they actually took some land from Dulkadir. So I do love seeing exile nations. That's always funny to me. Ottomans have Malaysia and then a little bit of Cambodia. They're pushing into the rest of Indonesia, Borneo and Java, and then a little bit over here in Sulawesi. So very cool to see. And I do believe Portugal got every single province of the New World, North and South America. We're still empty down under, but obviously time will tell who gets this. And it's 1516. We are in the age of Reformation. The Ottomans are the #1 great power, followed by Portugal, Persia, no guy, England, Uzbek, Castile, and then Poland. Gonna have to take a look at England. 900 development, but most of it is from subjects. How in the freaking world, bro? Ain't no way France got a PU, and they got a 555 de Trastamara. That is insane. They're loyal too, bro. That's crazy. Well, there is your twist of the video, I suppose. England with Colonize Pls as well as a presence on the mainland. They've had some land over here in Flanders and in the, Brabant or whatever. So maybe we'll actually see them be competitive over here in mainland Europe as well. The Reformation is here, as I said, mostly up north and over here in Bohemia. And for some reason, this random Silesian nation is Hussite. I love that. Oh, guys and gals, it is getting even better. We have an Anglican Franco-British Union. The Reformed is here down in, up in Scotland and then down in Switzerland. But Anglicanism has arrived, and apparently it's been accepted down in France or enforced, one of the two. They've got some competition, though. Lots of Sunni, lots of Shia, though lots of Catholics as well. Though the Catholics over here in the New World are chipping away. There's a lot of blue, but these guys are independent. The United States is independent. They actually just formed from Florida, which was also quite funny. Illinois, apparently, this is actually an average look at what U.S. is. At least this is what determines policy. And then you have Mexico over here, who's independent as well. So yeah, Portugal definitely not feeling so hot. Lots of rebels and stuff as well. Though it does look like Persia got bopped. I don't think they had all this land before. They definitely did not release these guys before, so I'm not sure what happened there. Probably rebels. And the Ottomans look to be beating up on Nogai over here, but meanwhile Persia is over in Indonesia as well. And the Ottomans have also landed down in Australia because, of course, they, finished Japan. And yeah, Ottomans just casually given up 6 Diplo a month for like 100 years. There you go, I guess. Whatever, man. And France is still loyal. I mean, they've jumped around a bit, as Great Britain will get lose an army or something in a battle, but they're still loyal. I haven't seen it go over 50 yet. Though of course we have reached Tech 10. We do have Russia, we do have Great Britain, so I imagine we'll see a Spain before too long, and Castile is over into Italy, so definitely some border changes happening. Well, we're about 50 years later. Persia definitely not doing so good. They have completely collapsed, and now they're mostly exiled to India. Nogai also has collapsed and has been exiled mostly to India, Southeast Asia, Southern China. Bukhara has formed. Very beautiful color from the Uzbek lads. We do have our PLC, but sadly no Spain just yet. I'm not sure. They were a PU last time I looked, so we'll have to check that out. Great Britain continues their conquests over here in the Alsace region, so I assume that France is still a subject, but we'll keep an eye on that. And the Ottomans continue their integration, slowly but surely, of Adal, so there you go. And it definitely makes me sad to see Ramazan just slowly getting pushed down out of their new homeland by the Ottomans. But, it is what it is. Absolutism is right around the corner, so it's a toss-up whether the Ottomans completely crumble and die. So we'll see how things go. The New World is a little bit more of independent nations. Actually, everybody is independent except for the Caribbean. So yeah, hopefully we're going to see some interesting border changes over here. We've got Brazil, Chile, Colombia, the US of A, and then Illinois over here in the rest. And Mexico, who owns California as well. So nothing different from our timeline. Portuguese decided to get in on Australia as well as Australia, and then the Ottomans actually colonized Australia as well. So that's pretty cool. We're definitely seeing a bit of variety over here with Persians, the Ottomans, and then the Portuguese, but not as much as I'd like to see. And like I said, with absolutism right around the corner, the Ottomans are the #1 great power, with Great Britain and their personal union of France in the #2 spot. Though there is quite a bit of development going on in Bukhara. Nogai still, despite losing most of their homelands, and Persia, because India is broken. The United States over in the New World in the #6 spot for the great powers list, Portugal and Castile. So yeah, pretty good to see. Oh yeah, now it all makes sense. Persia, you guys know Persia, and of course the Great Horde. You may even call them the Ilkhanate, right? The Great Khanate. But yeah, Russia doing okay, beating up on Bukhara, who is still very, 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 very scary, but maybe they're a paper tiger. Hard to say. Love to see a 1-province minor, Grenada, over here in Tunisia. Great Britain managed to integrate the Franks, and they're very scary on the mainlands, and Scandinavia is united. Austria took a couple of bites out of their neighbors, and Hungary definitely has seen better days. New World borders are just about as boring as they were before. I actually don't know if they changed much at all, except for maybe Brazil taking some land over here, though they may have had that before as well. Castile has the personal union over Aragon, and they have had it for a very long time, but for some reason they don't have the decision to form them. And I don't I don't know why that is. They are making a good use of their mission tree, but yeah, not sure why they haven't formed Spain. But how about that religious map? I love that. Just Protestant, Reformed, a little bit of Reformed over here. Hungary, Reformed actually, and then just Anglican. And over here, Anglican, because I don't know. Britain decided they wanted Anatolia, I suppose, which obviously signals that the Ottomans are probably going to be on the decline. With a little over 100 years left, we are seeing a really nice variety here with the Ottomans out in front for now, Great Britain out in the number 2 spot very firmly, and then a huge drop off. But after that, we have the US of A, the Russians, the Commonwealth, so bouncing back and forth Europe to America, and then Castile, Mexico over in America, as well as Illinois in the 8th spot. So everyone has at least 1200 development. But yeah, from 2nd to 3rd is a pretty big drop off. Though I reckon once Otto crumbles, which definitely seems to be inevitable, we will see some nations pop out of that power vacuum. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. And flash forward to 1821. We've definitely got some interesting stuff going on. I love to see that Persia literally has basically perfect, minus like the Himalayan border, perfect Indian borders. Like this is so good. Nogai has perfect Southeast Asia and southern China borders, very far away from their homelands, mind you. Bukhara is just northern China and Korea. That's pretty good. And then obviously Russia, yeah, is inevitable. Ever since domination, Russia is inevitable. So I love to see me some Zungar representation here. And then whatever this is, right? This is some British Levant occupation lines from what I can tell. Not to be confused with the Portuguese Levant. Both of them exist right next to, you know, Persian Persia. And how about Ramazan actually still existing, holding it down in 1821? Love to see it. Interesting to see this Jimma. I'm pretty sure they're like one of the subjects of Ethiopia in 1444. I might be wrong, but they're also fetishist, which is like super funny. They're actually the only fetishist nation in the whole world. So we'll take a better look at the religions here in a minute. We've got Adal, who ended up breaking free, apparently. Portuguese Congo, better than Belgian Congo. We have Liberia over here, American Guinea, right next to Portuguese Niger, and then American Maghreb. There you go. And despite Hungary, of all people, deciding that Italy was Hungarian, they left the Pope man alone. Good guy Hungary, very pious and all that. Also funny because they are Reformed. They are not Catholic. Looks like the US and Mexico decided to split Illinois, and I'm pretty sure Illinois is like one province left over here. Very funny. The US also utilized the Monroe Doctrine to annex all of the Caribbean, parts of South America, Yucatan, and down in here to like Nicaragua, I think this is, Peru, Colombia, Brazil. Shout out that American Manifest Destiny only, you know, they stopped at the Rockies and then they decided to go south, I guess. Sad to see Brazil split up like this. The nation's so nice that they named it Thrice. And the Ottomans are like holding out a couple of random provinces. I don't actually even know where their capital is. It's just like a bunch of random provinces. No, no. Their capital is in Setsu, dude. I love that so much. Hey guys, leave a comment down below. Let me know. What do you think of my Japan? Rate my Japan 1 to 10. Australia managed to wrest their independence, a good old Sunni Australia. And then of course, just Great Britain. I mean, the French PU just really kind of won the game for them, I think. I don't think I've ever seen the AI get so lucky. And normally, like if they ever get a spontaneous PU like that, they'll break free after like 50 years or something, or even less. But apparently it must have been spontaneous. That's the only thing I can think of, because they kept them loyal. And very Anglican, as well as Anglican over here. Not to be confused with the Protestants of Germany and Scandinavia, and then the Catholics in the Commonwealth. Orthodox definitely not looking so hot. Lots of Sunni land owned by Orthodox nations like Russia. And then India is just Shia. Since I assume they're the only Shia nation in the world, the rest of the Islamic stuff is all Sunni. And like I said, fetishist Horn of Africa, chef's kiss. Sub-Saharan Africa and the New World, all Catholic, as well as almost entirely Portuguese or Brazilian culture may actually be every single province, which makes sense. Like, they did colonize it, so I can't be too surprised about that. Shout out Somali culture of basically the entire southern half of Africa. Prolific Turkish culture over here in the Levant, as well as all the way over here, and of course, Turkish Japan. There's a big difference between Arabic and Turkish, right? You guys know, Japan, Turkish country. Uzbek with a bit of Muscovite, and then Nogai with a little bit of Muscovite as well. Overall, doing okay. Persian and the Azerbaijani, very good. And over in Europe, it looks like the English decided the French culture was primary, with the Walloons getting a bit of love as the Occitans down here in the south. I love it when the AI doesn't have the accepted cultures, so then they just do some culture conversion. Like Ireland is Scottish, I guess. I always love these videos. Like, these are just so much fun to make. They don't take a whole lot of time, and you just get some of the most goofy stuff in them. So if you guys appreciate it as much as I do, make sure you leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You're missing out on a lot of stuff if you are not already subscribed. Leave a comment down below if you have a mod in mind that you'd like for me to cover next. I appreciate you making it to the end. See you in the next one.